Okay, good afternoon. I'm Gina Terusio.
I'm Alicia.
And with us today is our buddy, Jeff Geier. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, Gina. Hey, Alicia. How y'all doing in this nice snowy weather?
I have shovel hands today. I've been shoveling so much snow, it's not even crazy. I am excited beyond normal today with our topic, Jeff, and I'm just gonna say this is our fourth episode of Leadership 101, and this one is so exciting for me. So I'm not talking at all. Hit us with your knowledge, please.
Well, great. It's always good to be with you all, and I really hope that these things are bringing value. I believe they are. The concepts and ideas that we talk about here have brought significant value to me and many others in my leadership journey, and that's what it's all about for me today, is just to share those things and influence people to a brighter place, to a place where you can actually win at both work and life. And so that's the goal. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today regarding that is, and during this season of COVID, and we're coming up on right about a year, right, where it's been all kinds of mask and no mask and shutdown and no shutdown and all that thing. And I'm not going to make any political or medical statements today, but it's really, really challenging because it makes us anxious. It affects us individually differently. And when we get anxious, we tend to then withdraw, disengage. It's almost that kind of deer in the headlight look that I don't know what's happening, therefore I better just stand still. And the saying that if you're going to stand in the middle of the highway, don't stand still. I mean, you got to get moving.
Dodge and weave.
Yeah, right. That's right. Keep moving, boys. Keep moving. And that really, although that's a little tongue in cheek, that really is it. There's always time for us, or the necessity for us to rest. And what does rest mean? It means maybe turning off your phone. It means maybe taking an hour and sitting silently with yourself. It may mean journaling or reading that book that you always said you were going to start reading, or something, just to kind of unplug and get to a different mindset. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, the mindset. Any change that happens in our life has to first be preceded by a mindset shift. In other words, you can't get somewhere thinking the way you currently think. You can't get someplace different thinking the way you currently think. Because if what you were currently thinking and doing was getting you to your goals and aspirations, then you don't need to change, right? You're going there. But if things aren't going the way you want, or you feel disengaged, or you just, man, I don't even want to get out of bed kind of thing, that might be, and it's caused by lots of things, but it might come down to the fact that you are becoming or already are disengaged. And so to change that mindset, we have to take personal ownership of both things that happen at work and at home. Actually, personal ownership of things that happen everywhere, right? We don't want to be a victim. Okay, now we're not talking about being victimized, that you were walking down the street and somebody robbed you or something, right? That you're a victim then. You didn't do anything to deserve that, right? So we're not talking about when you're victimized. It's a different talk about what happens to you when someone's victimized you and how you respond to that. But we're not going to talk about that today. What we're talking about is that disengagement, that thought that what I'm doing really isn't that important. I might have been at this company or at this job for a while, but nobody seems to care. You know how when you get your dauber, headed in the wrong direction, it's really tough. So you have to. It almost takes somebody to jolt you. Which there's my plug for coaches. If you're having trouble getting out of a slump, a coach can see things that you can't see, and you need to do that. So
Jeff,
start asking yourself. Yeah,
You are
sure.
completely right about the coaching moment. There are so many times in my career where it is that moment of somebody standing outside, knowing me really well and knowing kind of the situation, who will say something that sticks, that makes me go, oh, it's beautiful. And I know it seems kind of like it's a down, dark kind of a place when you realize that something has to change and you're in charge. But when you can have somebody just say, look, it's totally doable, and here's how you get started, it is so important. So I can't, oh my gosh, I cannot overstate the need just for that simple, hey, you're going to be okay. Here's how to get out of this. Let's see what it's just really important. So, okay,
Right.
I'll be quiet again.
Yeah, it really is. And we could we could spend our whole time on the importance of business and personal coaches, but Gina, you're absolutely right. And so if you think you're kind of getting, maybe disengaged, or you're just feeling that kind of anxiousness, you can ask questions about, things like, am I still putting the customer first? Or when Mrs. Smith calls or walks in the door, I go, oh, geez, here's Mrs. Smith again. Or are you going the extra mile? It's almost 5 o'clock, and I told the boss I would get this project finished, and I'm almost done, but it's 5 o'clock. I'll do it tomorrow. Those kind of things are indicators that you may be becoming disengaged. And it's fine, except you don't want to live there. Sooner or later, whether you're an employee, the boss, or the owner, if you live in that disengaged spot, somebody will fire you. So the employee is going to get fired by their boss. The boss is going to get fired by the owner. The owner is going to get fired by the customers, right? Because they're disengaged. They just don't seem to care. Right. So I'm not trying to make this sound like you got to change or you're going to get fired. No, that's not it. But I'm assuming that nobody wants to live in that victim mindset, kind of I'm a victim, and wants to change their mindset so that they can own their own circumstances, right? They're basically where they are based on the decisions they've made up to that point. Here's the good news. You can make different decisions if you don't like where you are. Right? You have to own the outcomes, whatever outcome that you got that wasn't what you wanted it to be. You have to, yes, there may be, and oftentimes is, things that impact that outcome that you couldn't control, but there is never a time where your outcome had no control by you. There is always something you could have done differently that would have made the outcome different. And so, and that kind of leads to, you have to own the process. In other words, if you're trying to get to a goal, the chances of you getting there accidentally is pretty slim. Yes, the old saying, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, which is true. But boy, do you want to, live that way, or do you want to be more intentional? And so we do that. So that whole lack of ownership, that lack of engagement, tends to come from these disengaged or marginally engaged employees at work. And although we're not here to talk too much about home, it happens at home too. Sure. and we're back to that thing that we've always talked about, that boy, if we can make things at work better, things at home are going to get better too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff,
it's a balance.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alicia, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a balance.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's an interesting twist on this, Jeff. And it, I don't know if you meant to say this, or maybe it's my cold medicine that's making me kind of extrapolate here, but I'm hearing what is, this is this moment, you feel like this victim, right? And in reality, maybe it's your most powerful moment. It's time to take the ownership. If you grab a hold of the ownership of your changes that need to be made, aren't you being like ultimately powerful? To me, it's kind of maybe flip side of the same coin or something. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's yes, could be the opposite side of the same coin. It could be a fork in the road. You are at a decision point, and you can decide to stay there in victim mode, and everything's going to be horrible, because you're not taking responsibility for it, or you can decide to change it. You can focus on problem solving acts. Change your mind and say, I have this issue. That it is what it is. What can we do about it? What should we do about it? Who do I need to involve? Who, there's a litany of questions to ask, but you have to have that commitment from people. And it usually comes, and again, it doesn't matter if you're owner, the boss, or an employee, that commitment from people comes from them needing something more or receiving something more than just a paycheck. We didn't talk about that early on, but one of the indicators, and sometimes you'll hear it on frontline employees, tomorrow's payday, thank goodness. I mean, that's all they're living for.
Yeah.
I got to get paid. And what you want is engaged employees, engaged leadership team people, and engaged ownership, because they're functioning and committed to something more than just that paycheck.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into, once you get the mindset right, there's a path to go down and a process to go down that will cause you to be more successful than you believed you could be. In fact, I go so far as to tell people, we at the Influence Group go so far as to tell people is, we won't guarantee the result if you follow our advice or follow our process. And the reason we don't guarantee the result is because I can't guarantee how much effort you're going to put in.
Right.
How many times even as ourselves say, yeah, I'm going to work like crazy on that deal. And then, a couple of days later, we're not working on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That kind of thing. So I won't guarantee the outcome, because I can't guarantee your level of work, but we can guarantee the process. If you follow the process and get your mind right, get your mindset right. And we're not talking about sitting around in a room full of candles or something like that. It's just changing your mindset. It's not magic. It's not smoke. Well, it kind of feels like magic, but it's not smoke and mirrors. It's focus on what's important. Focus on your circumstance. How did I get here? Where do I want to be? What can I do about it? Where am I trying to go? What's my outcome? Because I'm going to own that. And what's the process to get from here to there? I have to own it, because I'm not a victim. And victim is different than loser, right? None of us are losers, although sitting around in a bar, that's fun to do maybe, but no, we're not losers.
Yeah.
We just don't know what we don't know.
I really like this, the outlook, and I'm the queen. I mean, I have really good highs and really good lows. And usually the lows are when I feel like there is no way out. And I think that, I could probably jump right into that victim mode pretty readily, because, oh my gosh, I worked so hard for this and nobody understands me and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you're there and it is neon. It's so much of a victim. And so this moment of focusing on your outcome, focusing on what you want to do, the steps you need to take, is really empowering. And so that I can't get out of here no matter what I do thing really changes to, okay, there's 5 steps over here I could take. And you're right, it's my decision and my responsibility. But look, if I do just even 1 or 2, look what happens, or look what could happen. I love that. It's the sun coming out from behind the cloud almost.
Right. And that's the whole own it mindset. It turns into a group mindset in a team of people, or even an entire company. But it starts and is maintained one person at a time. It's about you. It's not about the company. It's not, why won't my employees do what I need them to do? It's about you. And if you want a different outcome, you have to have different process to get different results. You have to own it. Well, the reason my employees are the way they are is because we don't hire the right people. Have you heard? I've heard people say that before. That's a victim statement. It's also true. Not the part about hiring wrong people, right? They said the reason our employees aren't doing it is because we aren't hiring the right people. That we aren't part is the true part.
Mhm.
You're not doing what you're supposed to do. The fact of the matter is, usually, you have no idea whether these people are the right people or not, because your interview process and all of that stuff isn't tailored to find the people that you're looking for. So
Yeah.
you got to own it. It's
Yeah.
your process.
Own it and change your process, and you might get to the outcome that you're looking for. You can't just keep doing the same thing expecting better results. Definition of insanity, sort of. Similar.
Exactly.
I think we've
Yeah,
all
all those little sayings we've heard since we were young children. Yeah, they're all true.
Exactly, and are applicable at different times. Hopefully not over and over and over again, but throughout our lives, we all have those moments of, wait a minute, I've hit my head on this wall. Enough now. Jeff, what happened? Say I'm Susie, employee. I've been at my job for 8 years and I just got a really bad performance review and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't feel right anymore. I'm really tired. Where do I start?
Well, I would start based on our talk about own it is go to your place wherever you need to go and assess, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why, I used to be less smart than I am now. When people would say, well, why'd you go work for that company? I'd go, oh, they hired me. I mean, now early on when I was a teenager, that's basically what happened. But you can tell just from that statement that I wasn't an engaged employee. They hired me. I don't know. So you have to assess, why am I here? What am I trying to accomplish? What are my, and some of this goes back to, you have to know some of your personal goals and your family goals. Where are you trying to get to, right? We're just not going to work to get a paycheck to pay all the bills. And then at the end of the month, have more months left than money, right? That's just, nobody wants to live there.
It's true. Yeah.
Lots of us do. And the reason we do is because nobody's telling us how not to live there.
Yeah.
So you change your mindset and you don't have to live there any longer.
Jeff,
now, again, we've talked about this before. It's not a light switch. We're not throwing a light switch. Oh, I changed my mindset and tomorrow everything's going to be great. It's turning the dial, right?
That's a good reminder. This is not an overnight change.
Yeah, it'll surprise you how fast it changes, but it won't be tomorrow.
Oh, see, I'm going to be that one person going, wait a minute. Yesterday, I changed my mindset and look, and this morning, nobody thinks I'm awesome yet. But really, you're right. It's a series of babies.
I think you're awesome, Gina.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Interesting.
I think you're awesome.
Well, thank you, Alicia. I think you're awesome.
And then this all, just to tie it all together from the previous episodes.
Yeah.
This all goes hand in hand with the DISC assessments and the DISC profiles and your behavioral styles and the 12 driving forces, what makes you do what you do. That stuff all goes together when you're working with people. Either you're learning about yourself or learning about the people you're leading or employing. That's all going to help with the goal to create this winning culture, right? That transforms people's lives.
Jeff, I have found from the very first minute you came to me with influence and the new Jeff, what you bring forth is so much emphasis. That's maybe not even the right word. You bring a self-awareness to most of us who just kind of sometimes autopilot through things. And I think that is it's the key. It's the key to making a good human being. It's the key to making a good spouse. It's the key to making a good mother. And oh, by the way, that also translates into work. So, I mean, and it seems like that, all of a sudden we've got the cure for the common cold, but I do believe that an introspective moment or truly knowing that piece of yourself is just key to leading and to living your best life and that sort of thing. So I don't want to over or understate it, but I'm stating it. How's that? So,
no, thank you for the kind words. I agree with that totally. I'm on the journey too, right? My life's not a light switch either. It's a dial, and I plan to grow and get better and win over and over and over again until I'm not breathing anymore. that doesn't mean that as early as yesterday, I asked a question to my wife with the wrong tone of voice for her personality, for her behavior style. And I didn't get the response I wanted, or didn't get the response I thought I was going to get. And it's because I didn't ask the question right. Right. So I am absolutely not sitting here telling you, do everything Jeff does and your life will be awesome. No, but if we strive to get better every single day and surround ourselves with people that can help us, that have our best interest in mind. And there's lots of people like that. Coaches, obviously, there's plug number 2, are like that. But yeah, things will get better. You don't have to settle for where you are, even if where you are was 100% created by you. If you don't like it, or you think, oh crap, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't even have said crap. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. Right? You just got to get better. We are here until we're not. And I want every moment to be as good as it can be. And some of them, quite frankly, aren't very good. And I'm striving to make them better.
Wow, that's very motivating.
Completely. How do I find
you? You can do it too. You can most easily get me. You can see that. Hopefully, I don't know if it shows up on the recording. My email address is Jeffrey, Jeffrey @influencepower, the number 2 lead.com. So Jeffrey @influencepowertolead.com. You can go to the influencepowertolead.com website, and there's a list of our coaches. I'm in there too. That, my email address is there, and my cell phone number is there, and some information about me and what we do. So yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. That's why I think I'm here. I've determined that, in fact, I haven't determined it, I know it, that I'm here to help people win at work and life.
Wow. Well said.
Oh. And if you can't find him at his email, influencepower2lead.com, Jeffrey, like the whole word makes him sit up straight, Jeffrey. Or try our podcast. We've got a great YouTube channel that Jeff is on with us, and know that if you absolutely can't find him any other way, call me. I'll tell you how to get him on speed dial. It's worth every bit of it. And we so benefit from our time with you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's
Jeff.
my pleasure. I hope you all have a beautiful holiday season, and not to get political, but I cannot wait for 2020 to be over. Come on.
It's a countdown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.